Hi, is this on? Good, it's good. I'm Andrew Reid with the Economic Development Administration out of the Philadelphia Regional Office. I've learned since attending these talks that we don't have a nuclear reactor, we don't have a plane that flies through hurricanes, and we don't get fresh seafood. But what we are is passionate about American jobs, American manufacturing, and growing investment in the United States. I'm going to talk a little bit about car carpets, the supply chain, and a little flood that happened in Columbia County, Pennsylvania. Well, actually, the flood happened in a number of counties in Pennsylvania, but as rivers tend to go downstream, it starts one place and carries on all the way down. This is the sanitized topic, or title of my talk. I actually wanted to call it What a 19th Century Factory in Pennsylvania, Just-in-Time Supply Chains, and a Little Black Rain Cloud have to do with your sweet new ride, or why that new car smell isn't called Susquehanna River Stink. Imagine, if you will, walking into a new car dealership, whether it's BMW or Mercedes, Ford, Chevy, or Chrysler, Subaru, Kia, Hyundai, and every single car that you open has no carpet in it. Absolutely none. Bald, bare. Welcome to Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania on September 9th, 2011. Your new carpet for your car is under there somewhere. If you were thinking about buying a car somewhere early in the fall of 2011, this slide means a lot to you. Why is that? Because in the U.S. auto supply chain, Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania is a key link, and the factory that's underneath that large lake of water that you see, Autoneum, is a big part of that. Let's talk a little bit. Oh, actually, I guess this is Underwater Supply Chain Management 101. That could have been another title, too. You're not dreaming seriously. It's under there. And EDA, we don't really know much about flooding, flood protection, hydraulics, or anything else. We stay in Holiday Inn Expresses to be safe, not because they make us any smarter, but because we figure they build them on higher ground and we're less likely to be underwater. ED, Economic Development, doesn't stand for extremely damp or excessive deluge either. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about Irene and Lee in the fall of 2011 in September. Places like the Susquehanna and Bloomsburg, everyone gets a little bit prepared for floods, but they always seem to get to be a little bit worse than they were the time before. And Irene and Lee was really no exception to that. Now, most businesses in central Pennsylvania remember the Tropical Storm Agnes flood of 1972 and set that as a benchmark. So when Irene and Lee started forming and looked like they might stall over central Pennsylvania, what happened? Everybody moved their equipment and their inventory and things that they valued to the other side of the line to where the water came when Agnes came in 1972. It was a good guess, but in this case, it was the wrong guess, and everything got very wet. Let's talk a little bit about small town America. Bloomsburg, Pennsylvania, which is the county seat of Columbia County and on the Susquehanna River, is like a lot of other small manufacturing towns in the United States. It's located a little bit south of Interstate 80 on US Highway 11, right on the Susquehanna River. It has a small university there as part of the Penn State system, Bloomsburg University. And it has a strong and rich manufacturing history, which includes a company called McGee Carpet Company. And McGee Carpet Company was founded around 1890 and is still there today. Now, McGee's changed a little bit over the years, but not necessarily a lot. This is the facility back in about the turn of the century in 1900. There's a nice wooden boxcar there, a horse and buggy off on the left, and what I call an old school utility pole, which is made from a real tree. It's not absolutely straight, and apparently it worked well because you can see, if you look really carefully, a couple of wires hanging. And a big part of what McGee did was, other than building carpets, they made rugs and carpeting systems for horses and buggies. And that has evolved over the years because horses and buggies have kind of become somewhat obsolete over the past century. So they moved into the automotive market and started making carpets for cars. This is McGee Carpet Company in 1916. Railroad station out in front, a few more boxcars. If you look carefully, the factory is increased in size, maybe twice as much. McGee Carpet Company, circa 1916, and Autoneum, which is now the existing entity in 2016. These buildings look right about the same, but what's inside them has really changed over time. Instead of being the home of 3,000 dinner pails, because 3,000 people used to work in this factory in 1916, now it's high-tech, automotive, robotics, very critical systems, high technology, building things for just about every different brand out there. They help supply companies like GM and Nissan and Kia, Honda, Toyota. This is the US supply chain right here, where all cars that are made in the US are from. And that nice little star there, which is Bloomsburg, that's the ripple in the water when that floods. That went too far. So let's talk about the impact of Irene and Lee, kind of the human impact on a community like Bloomsburg and an employer like Autoneum. There was 9 feet of water on the factory floor in Autoneum. Sensitive Robotics got a great mud bath. Now, if you watch Star Wars and you see C-3PO and R2-D2 and the other thing that's a circle with a circle on it, like what his name is, those seem to do very well in climates like Tatooine and other jungles in the middle of like a rebel insurrection. Well, modern robotics, not so much. So Autoneum, 9 feet of water on the factory floor turned into $67 million in damage, and it shut down automotive carpet manufacturing in the United States for several days until they could get back online. And why is that critical? Because when you have a just-in-time supply chain, you start running out of carpet really quickly. So employers like Autoneum, with 725 good-paying jobs and a critical anchor of the community, are critical. They're critical to the industry, and they're also critical to the communities that they operate in. Now, Bloomsburg and Columbia County hadn't exactly been sitting on their hands when it came to preparing for floods. They had been working with the Army Corps of Engineers for years on designing a flood control system for the community, a flood wall that would protect the town and protect the businesses and employers and everything else. Unfortunately, Irene and Lee were so much larger than was anticipated. The design that was designed would not have withstood Irene and Lee. So what does that mean? That means after a lot of design and public process that everybody is back to square one. There's no money to really design anything. And the community and the county and a lot of folks are losing hope. And a company that really prides itself on being a reliable, on-time supplier that has walls lined with supplier awards from all these automotive brands is in trouble and considering whether maybe it would have to go somewhere else. And a solution is needed. Now, EDA really doesn't have a lot to do with flood protection. It's not our bailiwick. Army Corps of Engineers and others know a lot more. But one of the powers as EDA that we do have is being able to convene and being able to think out of the box. And so in this case, Congress passed money to help recover from Irene and Lee. In our region of EDA, which covers 13 states in the Northeast, we got $53.7 million. And we had a little bit of a vision with the community that some of that money might be able to come up with a flood control solution that would protect key employers like this and also help protect the auto supply chain. And convening, collaborating, bringing the state, the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, private industry, and other players to the table, we were able to come up with a solution that put $15 million of funds from EDA, plus money from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and money from industry and other players, into doing a flood control solution for the community. So how do we help? $15 plus 6 zeros today helps keep your flood waters away. It's a good tag. And in this case, there's a lot of VIPs here, including at least one EDA, DAS, and Congressman. But the real heroes here is the community in the background. It's the multiple generations of workers that build quality American products and outfit our cars. So our end solution to this was working with the community to fund and get through the process of building a wall, developing a solution, getting all the players to the table, and keep making carpet in the USA. Now, we all dig flood protection. I know that's kind of corny, but hey, you know. And this was a groundbreaking from 2015, but now when it rains and the river rises, the little black rain cloud won't be messing up the supply chain. And in conclusion, everyone's probably wondering, and it's good to hit the microphone with that, what is this little plastic bag that I'm carrying around with me other than having a few crib notes on it? And I'll tell you, how durable is McGee Carpet? This is McGee Carpet Company, home of 3,000 dinner pails, a sample from 1920. And with EDA and Commerce assistance, we'll be holding things like this made today 100 years from now. Thank you.